Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Saturday, July 30th, 2022. Yes, the weekend is here. Yes, baseball is at the forefront. The MLB trade deadline, start of next week. Some movers and shakers. Um, I'm just going to vent for a minute and then I'll let Riley just absorb this vent, because I like to come in open minded. I really, really do. And again, everyone has their own opinion. Anyone can sit back and be an armchair quarterback and just sit there and say, how did you do this? How this team sucks. This team's great, yada, yada, yada. And as me and Scotty broke down the board yesterday, it was comical. I think there were 6 games of 225, 250 or more. And I said, well, if you blindly played all 6, you'd probably make money. Manoa minus 350, 370. They go down yesterday. Was one of them. Riley's White Sox. And I talked about Scotty did it like Lance Lynn. He finally had a big game score. Did he finally turn the corner? And I said the only thing he turned was his neck this way and his neck this way because he's looking at these balls going every which way but loose. And of course, he lays an egg, and I think White Sox closed at like minus 200. But where I'm going with this is just how some teams they've waved the white flag. And I ask this is how can they go to the office? I know they don't go to the office every 2 weeks and collect a check. It's probably direct deposit and yada yada. But you're stealing money. There's no other way around it. I watched because I couldn't sleep last night, and because we had the Angels last night. Okay, and our buddy SoCal DGen throw up a nice stat that the Angels were 0-10. I had already released it. 0-10 after an Otani start and yada, yada, yada. It was 2-1 top of the ninth and 1 out. And 2 guys get on. They go to the bullpen. Error. Base hit. Wild pitch. It's like watching the Bad News Bears. It is just so disgusting. A 2-1 game turns into a 7-1 game. Thanks for playing. I'm watching the Red Sox 2-1, top of the ninth. And haters warming up already for the bottom of the ninth. Walk, base hit, walk. 2-1 turns to 4-1. Thanks for playing. If you had the Dodgers run line last night, you're just sitting there waiting. Oh, in comes Kimbrel. All right, 1 out, base hit, walk, 2 outs. All right, we're all right. 5-4 final. It's disgusting. And the board sometimes looks like Braille. I love in the morning when I wake up and I get that, oh, last weekend. I keep bringing it up because it doesn't happen all the time. 5-1 weekend and then hit 3 parlays on Sunday for another 20 units. How do we start this week? Monday, OFA. Tuesday, OFA. Wednesday, OFA. Thursday, take the night off. Last night, we split. We get the Padres box the wire, and then the Angels puke all over themselves. So the moral of this is if you got a weak heart, get the hell out of Dodge. And if you think week 0 in college football and week 1 in the NFL and college football is going to be your savior, I got 2 bridges less than 15 minutes away from me. I will gladly sell you. It doesn't happen that way. If you're not all in, get the hell out of Dodge. It's not meant for you. If this is your entertainment and you're okay paying the man $2 and $3 a week, God bless you. This is your entertainment. God bless you. If you're serious about this, this is where you really got to dig in. You got to do more homework. We talk about the opening lines, the overnight lines, the morning lines, the afternoon lines, the closing lines, first fives, team totals. There's nothing that we don't flip here and we don't look at. But for some, it's just get up, look at the board, see the fact that the Yankees and anyone that had Kansas City last night, God bless you. I mean, what was it, 5-2, at bottom of the eighth, you're sitting there with a huge ticket, and then the Yankees put up an 8 spot. I mean, Judge 2 more homers, hits a grand slam. I mean, listen, I don't think they're coming out of the American League. I think they're going to make a few moves. Personally, I mean, I love Seattle. They beat the Yankees to the punch with Castillo. Soto's still in play. Shohei's been played. No one's going to get Shohei, obviously. It's too quick to try to put together a package for that. First of all, good morning. Shout out to my man, Billy Hewlin. Hope all is well. Give Rebecca a big hug for me. But the fact of this little rant, guys, is you woke up this morning. Were you the guy with the pizza on the oven 3.5 hours later? Did you sleep on the couch? Are you hungover? Are you looking at today's menu, chasing a half dozen units? Or are you waking up fresh? Grab the ammonia bottle underneath the cabinet, open up the cap, take a big a big sniff. Don't take a swig of that. And let's start fresh. So without further ado, let's bring him in from the Windy City himself, the one and only, Mr. Riley Magnuson. Morning, Riley.
Morning, my friend. Happy Saturday. Always a pleasure. It's been a couple days, so I am pumped to be back. Not only, as you mentioned, we've got a full slate of baseball. We've got, as we talked about a little bit earlier this week, some nice UFC action going on tonight, I do believe. So I only echo everything you just mentioned as far as the dog days of summer for baseball. It's the same thing with what we do over here, especially as we head into football season, and everyone gets excited for football season. So I can't add too much to what you said, only echo it. But nonetheless, you just got to put your head down, like you said, and try to keep a open mind and a positive mind and an optimistic mind, while acknowledging some of the hits that you've taken, and if there's something you need to adjust, then adjust, obviously. But nonetheless, happy Saturday, my friend. It is good to see you as always.
It's kind of comical. In the PGA this week, my one and done, who just by default, I had him available and was one of, I don't want to say the public favorites, but it made the most sense. And I looked at Thursday and I'm like, holy shit, Tony Finau is in fuego. He wins on Sunday and he shoots a -8. And this Pendrith comes out of nowhere to tie him at -8 to split the first round leaders. My guy just limps through with a -1. And before I checked the board yesterday, I looked up to the skies and I says, hey, can you just give my guy a jolt? Give me something to root for. Cam Young, -9 yesterday to get to -10. Chasing 4 back. But it's nice when you're on something. You just want that little, so you got something to play for the weekend.
And especially, I think Friday, especially in golf, is that one day where it's just get me to Saturday and Sunday, and we've got a chance, right? And yeah, you're right. Cam Young, obviously, not for 3 hours or so until he tees off, but obviously, especially in a field where he's probably, he was a top 5 favorite for sure. I'd say, top 10 name, if not a top 5 name. So certainly still has a chance as far as a couple of these guys, could be due for some regression, and he obviously has been good, throughout the entire weekend for the most part when he's been there. So I've got some optimism for you as well, and I'm glad we've got him. You've got him in the top 5 or so right there. So I like that play for sure. There's a few other guys that I think could, still have some life in him. Cantlay is right behind him at 9 under. I think he was the favorite of the tournament coming in. The other guy that I was expecting to have a bigger one and have some hunger in him and try and chase it was Zalatoris, and he just hasn't been that sharp. He is 2 under for the day today, so he's not quite not dead yet if he has a nice finish today. But nonetheless, we should have a nice, hopefully good afternoon of golf. Setting up for some fireworks tomorrow. And I'm sure if we do a show tomorrow, we'll have some insights as far as take the top off the board, wherever that might be tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I'm just pulling it up right now. I was just going to throw some numbers right now. Outright, Tony Finau on DraftKings +165. The Pendrith +240. Cam Young goes to 1,000. Cantlay 1,200. Lee Hodges +1,400. Henley 2000, Adam Scott 2800, Sink 3500, Thagala 3500, C Woo Kim 3500, Homa 7,000. Anything there? I mean, if someone wasn't involved, I mean, I know Sundays we take the lid off the top and then we keep our eyes down. Anyone looking for a little, few swings to get them through the day? You see anything there that you might suggest someone to jump on?
It's interesting. If maybe an hour ago, I'm blanking on what his numbers are. He's 4 under on the day already through 3 holes. Max Homa is already up to 8 under. He's flying up those boards right now. So, what did you say his odds were as it stands right now?
Plus 7,000.
Okay, that one, he's like I said, only through 3 holes, and he's already off to a nice start. So if he has a nice keeps that rolling, he's obviously going to be in that contention. Thigala, at that number what you just mentioned, I think you said he was 35-1 as well. Thigala at that number is not a bad one by any means. Past that, as far as some of these names, that 7-8 under, by no means are they toast for this tournament at all. It's just not a ton of names that if you're looking for some bigger names that you think could have some momentum, it's a little lighter on that, but there are some guys that you can probably pick out. But that, what we got at the 8-9 spot right now, as far as today is concerned, if you can catch some nice odds on them, I think that's still some solid value, especially, the Thigala 35-1, Siwoo Kim 35-1. I'd be interested right there for sure. Those guys haven't gotten off. Won't get off for another 2.5 hours or so. So you should be able to see how the course is playing, and if guys are going low or not, and if you like anybody in that range, I'd say there's definitely some value there. And then I'm sure we'll have an interesting leaderboard heading into tomorrow morning as well.
Switch gears. Thursday we had our friend on, Zaid Hussein. He broke down his thoughts for UFC 277. I'm just trying to see where the overnight money came. Let's see where it is. It's still staying the same right now. DraftKings has Amanda Nunes minus 275, Juliana Pena at plus 230. I've been talking all along. Every time I see Amanda on social media, it's promoting something. Everything has dollars behind it. Where is the lioness's heart? I talked to him at length, and as we were talking, the number was dropping. I've seen it as low as 265. His thoughts very simply was this: is you're going to see a totally different Amanda, totally focused, get that belt back. Now, with that being said, does this turn into a trilogy? I talked about Juliana, the public trendy dog. As you know, in fight night, you tend to see the bags start coming in on the favorite. And, he was assuming that Amanda would be minus 300, 330 by the time this one goes off. Someone that was minus 900 the first fight. And so I'm kind of playing both sides here. If you didn't play Juliana at plus 600, why in the holy hell are you going in there at plus 230 right now? Initial thoughts on this, right? Have you made a decision yet, or are you just still waiting?
I haven't made a decision. I think I said, I could be wrong, but I think I said the other day that I don't think I'm going to be too aggressive with this one because I'm with you as far as I see both sides of it 110%. Without any odds, I'd be point blank. I'd be saying the same thing as far as I think she would be bouncing back. I think she'd be 100% laser focused on getting this back. But, with the odds of where they are, what did you say? It was 6-1 for Pena the first time around, or somewhere around those odds, right? And in just about every single fight, it's been minus 800, 900, sometimes minus 1,000 or higher for Amanda Nunes. So I'm with you as far as being nervous about any type of Amanda Nunes action because obviously Pena body type matches up pretty well. And over the history, like I said, I'm not the UFC expert by any means, but, over the history, especially with the some of these dominant women fighters, when they go out the one time that, historically you had the Ronda Rousey run, and then it was, for the most part, when, Holly Holm took her down, and that was, for the most part, that was it. Holly Holm went out the next time out. So if you're playing historically, then, you have a reasonable expectation of some regression. So I could see any which way. If you wanted to go any way on this one, I could see it 100%. But, I think I'll sit back and enjoy this one. The over-under, interestingly enough, is 2.5. I think it'll go shorter than that one way or another, whether that's Amanda, jumping on her and knocking her out in the first or second round, maybe early second round, or maybe Amanda just isn't ready, and Pena does the same. So I think it'll be within the first couple of rounds. I guess is my prediction. I'm not sure where your thoughts as far as how long this one goes, but nonetheless, I could see any which way you wanted to get into this one. I wouldn't hate you for it at all.
Yeah, I said sarcastically, shit, I'll take Pena plus the 230, and then I'll do a prop with Amanda Nunes, TKO knockout, however, submission in the first round.
Yeah, no, I think you said that the other day, and I think that's decent as far as, I mean, if you can correctly predict the round, then you can definitely have Amanda to win by KO, TKO in the first round, or DQ is 3-1. So, and then 550 in the second round. So, if you feel confident that if Amanda gets it done in the first couple of rounds and you want to take a swing at that, then I'm with you 100%. That would be probably the only way that I get into this one. But otherwise, I honestly don't know what I as a fan what I'm rooting for. Do I want Pena to be this new change it up and change the guard for good, or do I want the trilogy, because that would obviously be exciting? I don't even know what I want, so I'm playing both sides along as well as you are with this one in all facets of it.
Watchers and listeners, do you got any leans or anything that you already keyed up?
I mean, the second fight, well, actually, the second and third, the co-main, and then the one before that, as a fan perspective, I'm really excited for the Brandon Moreno, Kai Kara-France. I've been a Kai Kara-France fan for a while. Brandon Moreno is a bad man. Don't get me wrong. Kai Kara-France is only 29. I could absolutely see him. I would not be hating on anyone that thinks he might have another level to go to as far as his progression is concerned. He has been fighting a lot, over the last few months, but at least at the odds that we're seeing for him, it's about, about plus 180 on DraftKings here. I don't hate taking a swing at that one as far as Kai Kara-France. I think that one, I personally, if there was no odds on it, I would say I would lean towards Brandon Moreno. But I personally kind of think this one should be closer to plus 140 odds as far as Kai Kara-France is concerned. So I'm interested as far as he right there. Anytime Derek Lewis is plus money, obviously, I lean to anytime he's plus money, it is concerning because everyone loves him so much. But because of the knockout power that he has, it's at least something to think about. And it doesn't matter who he's facing. One swing and his opponent could be down. So if you're a Lewis fan and you're always on him and you're taking him and he's won you some money, kind of like one of those things. If you've been riding with him, then go ahead and ride with him. If not, then maybe sit this one out. It might not be his night, but that would be obviously another one. Some of these other ones I'm not as familiar with. The opening fight of the night, Blood Diamond against Orion Koski. That's an interesting one. Just Blood Diamond. I've only seen him once. He's pretty raw talent, but he is a pretty big freak in nature. So. Another one where maybe the odds are, at least valuable. He's another one that's plus 175. But, a lot of these ones are some fighters that I haven't seen before. So it's going to be, some guys that I'm going to be collecting some data on for sure. But it should be an interesting one, interesting night of fights nonetheless. And, we got a couple big favorites, so it's obviously tough to jump in on those. I guess the other one that I skipped past, Drew Dober. I don't know exactly what the most valuable side would be. He's minus 165. I like him. He would be one where, I've told you I like to throw together a couple decent-sized favorites together. If I have a nice, enough confidence that they'll, one way or another win. He would be one where a favorite where I'd feel pretty confident and throw him into something if it's an entertainment thing or, even if you're willing to eat, a steep price. Drew Dober is one that I definitely think is going to get the win. But aside from that, Anthony Smith is a fan favorite, but he's plus 430. It's tough to get into that fight for sure. But aside from that, I don't have too strong of thoughts. But as the day goes on, and I like to collect data as far as other people that I respect in this, as far as the UFC is concerned. Because as I mentioned, I don't claim to be a UFC expert, but if I've got fights that I know about, I'll I try to find some edges here and there. So I think I only got a few tonight, but hopefully I find some more along the way as the day goes on.
Mariners strike first. Castillo to the Mariners. That was the Yankees' number one choice. Initially, they didn't want to part with one of their next and up and coming prospects. The Dodgers were talked about, obviously, with Castillo. Soto's still floating around. I said on the intro, Shotani's out there. There is no way in hell someone could put a deal together in 3 to 4 days to get Shohei. I basically said, tongue in cheek and sarcastically, that I will send Devers, Bogarts, JD, and Eovaldi over for Shohei, just because if you're not going to sign any of them, give them to the Angels and let them deal with it. But starting to hear that the talks for Soto to the Padres have really, really heated up. Padres, nice win yesterday. Snell looks to be rounding into form. I've reached out to a lot of my colleagues and people in the Bay Area. What the hell's going on with Tatis? And I mean, Jesus, Monday's August. I mean, at worst, we were talking all-star break. Yeah, he's swinging a bat. The fact that they jumped out to such a decent record right now, the Padres sit. Where are my eyes here?
I've got it right here. They are 56-45, 12 behind the Dodgers.
So obviously they're not going to catch the Dodgers, but again, if you put together a Tatis and Soto lineup with Manny Machado, Hosmer, and a few others, I mean, with their pitching, it starts to get interesting. Your team's floundering, my team's floundering. Thoughts before we dig into the menu on what the hell's going on with the deadline?
No, it's there's still a few names that there are to be shaken out, obviously, but if the Padres get Juan Soto, I mean, even if Tatis doesn't come back, I don't want to stamp him into the playoffs, but you almost stamp him into the playoffs. They've got the second wild card spot by 2.5 games right now, and then obviously there's 3 this year, so and the teams below them, the teams under 500 are kind of falling down further and further down the pack, right? The Giants are pushing themselves. They're floundering harder than either of our 2 teams, arguably, aside from maybe a couple. And then obviously, Philly and St. Louis, they are 2 teams that are probably looking to make a move. But aside from that, you almost put the Padres in the playoffs if they get Juan Soto. But aside from that, there's still a couple names. I'm with you. Otani's not going anywhere. I think that's just a little bit of buzz, just kind of putting some feelers, seeing what the even any negotiations or any soft offers would be. But I still think there's Toronto or Tampa Bay or any one of these AL Central teams is probably on top of maybe the Yankees, obviously looking for some pitching. The Toronto, Tampa Bay, and one of these AL Central teams, including my own, are probably going to be the next one that try to make an aggressive move. I saw all 3 AL Central teams I was reading are all 3 think that if they make a move, have a legitimate chance. All 3 have flaws. All 3, if you make the right deal, can help a great deal. And obviously, nobody wants to win this division right now. You talk about the White Sox floundering, and the Twins are not playing good baseball right now either. So, one of these teams is going to want it at some point. And if that means at the trade deadline, and that's what they have to do, then that's what they'll do. But it's going to be an interesting couple of days. I think at least one of these AL teams is going to be making a nice big push for at least one of these other. 2, 3, second, third tier, starters or a nice, sustainable, serviceable bat that helps their lineup at least to some degree. I don't think these teams are going to be standing pat here in the AL. So I think something's going to be ablaze here in the next couple of days. But, I'm interested to see who it's going to be and what propels what to, the new heights there.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at Seattle and the fact that, they're going to be throwing out now Ray, Castillo, and Gilbert. That moves flexing down another spot. At least you're looking to form those front 3s that could really when you're getting into shorter series and then playoff series, you look at the Mets that are just sitting there, and you got Scherzer and DeGrom. Jesus, a good landing spot would be like an Eovaldi there. If they had landed Castillo, those horses can. I don't care how long the Dodger lineup is. They have the horses to just, pitching wins championships. And you see it in the playoffs where the offenses, those key hits, every pitch, every at bat is like an inning. You're on your toes. When you sit down to watch a game today and the first batter gets a leadoff walk, well, you just go to the fridge, get a couple hot dogs, get a couple cold ones, and it is what it is. In the playoffs, A leadoff walk. Now you're on like this. Oh my God, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And I mean, it's coming from a team that last year was sitting pretty as far as the White Sox are concerned at this point in the season with our pitching staff, where you had Carlos Rodon and Lance Lynn as two of the three AL Cy Young favorites at this point last year. And then they fizzle out by October, and we're left holding the bag with Cease, who wasn't quite the guy that we've been seeing this year. Kopech out of the bullpen, and Giolito being hit or miss. It's it absolutely matters, like you're saying. So, I as I'm saying that, hope my team has something up their sleeve as far as helping ourselves out. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I'm interested to see how these next couple of days of games play out, and see if that fuels anybody to make anything happen.
Full slate, take it away, my brother.
Alrighty, first one up here, I believe in a couple of hours. Two teams that are, could be making some deals at the deadline, both above 500 in the American League, Cleveland and the Tampa Bay Rays. Plesac, who we talked about earlier in the week as being, I haven't seen too much over the last couple of days, but his name was floated around as far as potentially getting moved. They are facing, as I mentioned, the Rays and Corey Kluber. Kluber, former team for, a decade or so. Kluber only seen Cleveland once. The one time he did, he shut him out over 6 innings, so not sure if there's any type of extra motivation there. But I do believe the Guardians, got the win yesterday. They've gotten 3 of their last 4. So the Rays about -140. Are you back in Kluber in this spot? I know neither of us are really big Plesac guys, but do you trust Kluber enough in this spot to back Tampa, or is this one kind of a toss-up in your eyes?
The Tampa is just not. They're not scoring, and last night Bieber looked like Cy Bieber again. The numbers say that they're going to get the bounce back. I'm not a big Plesac fan. I'm not going to pay that tax. And under over a 7.5. Basically, and I would suggest that if you wanted to go in the bounce back, that you play the first 5 minus the hook, or you play the run line. I am not suggesting anyone here to run to the window to lay a 140, 141 at William Hill, a -150 tax.
Right. No, I'm with you. And we talked about earlier in the week as far as DraftKings offering those team totals in the first 5. They've been making it tougher for spots like this where, a couple of weeks ago or a week ago, you might have caught the Rays over 2.5 in the first 5 at plus money. Only offering they're giving you is over 1.5 in the first 5 at -145. So making it tough to, if you like that, you like that, but you're paying a tax, obviously. So they've been making it tougher for us to get into these games. And I don't like the Rays enough at the prices, kind of along what you're saying here. These teams are pretty similar. So I'm kind of throwing away the Rays in this one, although I guess I would lean that way if I had to go anywhere. Next one up, Royals and the Yankees. Another big price on this one, obviously. Heasley, I believe, is the name for the Royals. He has been a punching bag for the most part. Any way to get into this one, or is this just about impossible as far as unless you're betting the Yankees to win 10-0 or exactly correct score plus 500?
I'm sitting there, and it was just comical. Singer pitched his ass off on Thursday, and Judge hits a homer in the 9th, 1-0. Thanks for playing. Yep. Yesterday, again, 5-2, bottom of the 8th, they put up an 8 spot, and Judge with 2 more homers. Vegas is just making it impossible for you to get in there. The chalk players are just gifted not only with the money line win, but with the run line win. And it's just comical at this point. There's nothing I can say. Then I can't get in there. I don't suggest anyone gets in there. If you want to get creative and just keep playing them in money line parlays, God bless you. But I can't get in there.
I'm with you. Do you think, go to your head, do you think they blow up Heasley in the first few innings? And it's another one where, if so, I mean, it's kind of still different from what I was just saying. Over 3.5 in the first 5 is plus money. So you're asking for 4 runs as opposed to the typical 3. But would you be confident enough that they blow up Heasley in this spot? Would that, if you're going anywhere on the Yankees in this one?
Well, the next question is which Cortez shows up. So what is your under-over for the first 5?
It's a flat 5 for the first 5 between the two teams.
I would lean more over first five if you wanted to get in there. Obviously, it takes a touchdown to cash that
Yeah.
one. But if Cortez is on, then Casey's going to get shut down. But
Yeah.
they didn't score on Thursday. They put up a 5 spot. Maybe it's in between. Maybe you get 2 from them and 4 from the Yankees.
Okay. No, fair enough. Fair enough. Next one up, I know last time his name was floating around there, you at least had some interest in fading him. Massive price today, but Detroit and Toronto. Looks like Hutchinson on the mound for Detroit. Stripling for the Blue Jays. Any way, if you like the Blue Jays, any way to get into the Blue Jays on this one? Is it the same story as what we just talked about with the Yankees?
Coming off a Manoah loss that kills my big future there, Verlander now I think up to 14 wins, and he's going to start to lap the field there. For me, I would look. Do you have a Toronto team total? My gut would say 5.5 juiced under. That would be what my gut says.
Let's see here. 5.5 minus 125 on the over.
On the over. So they're figuring them to get it done. I look for them to bounce back. Obviously, I was hoping for a number on the under would be juice there so you could get plus money there. I think Toronto puts up the touchdown and more. Hutchinson pitched better his last start. Wasn't as bad as he usually is, but I expect Toronto to get a touchdown plus today.
Okay. No, I think I'm with you on that one. Milwaukee, and we head to your neck of the woods, Milwaukee and Boston. About minus 110 each way on this one. FanDuel has Boston minus 106. You've got Lauer and Pivetta on the mound for the Red Sox. This one is afternoon game on your neck of the woods, 3:10 my time, 4:10 your time. Total is different in a couple spots, 9.5, 10. Who's getting blown up today if the total is sitting at 9.5, 10? Is it both offenses having a nice day, or is one of these two guys getting absolutely blown up today?
I just, you know what? I think at this point, I just want the Sox to keep losing. Maybe that they'll get creative. I'll just say this from the people that I've been talking to. JD is gone, whether it's today or tomorrow. I don't know if they'll move Evaldi as well. They're not going to move Bogarts unless they get really, really. The Mets, there's talks about the Mets. The Cardinals have been attached to Bogart since the start of the season. Hearing that there are Mets scouts in the stands looking at Vasquez and someone else. It's just time to blow this up. I mean, it's so sad to watch right now. It's a 4:00 start. The ball in the Saturday afternoon usually jumps. It's just a matter of sun. You're going to get those shadows for a first couple of innings. I have zero faith in Pivetta, never mind the Red Sox. So I'm kind of surprised again the Sox are short favorites. If you want to dabble on the Brewers team total. Do whatever what the hell you want. I just have zero faith in the Red Sox.
No, I can't fault you for it. The Brewers have 3 in a row as well. So if you've been riding the Brewers the last couple of days, might be time to catch on the Brewers train. I'm not sure. Next one up. Earlier in the day was holding the same, but Mets in Miami. Are you seeing undecided for the Marlins, or have they updated that?
Marlins. My eyes are terrible today. Let me go there. Undecided, yes.
Undecided, okay. Carrasco on the mound. I didn't break that one down. I was looking at undecided. So any thoughts, or do you want to skip by that one with the undecided?
You know what? Let's skip that. And listen, I don't want you to fall off your rocker here, but someone has entered the building. And when he enters the building, we got to put the board on pause. So
okay.
Let's just say good friend, sporting the Jesus, Dave. I mean, what the hell? Those jerseys are amazing. So let's bring them on. Our guest, the family member, the real Vegas Dave, the one and only Mr. Dave Sharapan.
What in the hell did I walk into here? Riley?
Well, what the hell is going on, my friend?
What's up, Boys, good to see both of you. Yeah, I just I finished up another hit, and I sent JD a text. I said, what are you doing? He said, check your email. It just said, check your email. So I checked my email, and I get to come hang out with you two. This is great.
What a beautiful surprise.
Dave, I caught you on MLB last night with Ariel on the spread. I mean, I have talked to you, but fans at ECSI haven't heard the story. So blessed last week, LA, Futures, home run derby on the field. And then as I talked to you, so you told me, yeah, we got to get going. That was Wednesday. Friday, he's still on the field at Dodger Stadium. Talk about the experience.
Was unbelievable, man. So never been to an all-star game in my life. Still love going to games. So always since I've been a little kid, just love going to baseball games, hockey games, football. It's okay. And basketball sometimes. But get an opportunity, go drive to LA with my oldest daughter, leave Saturday, drive through a torrential pouring rainstorm that in the Vegas, I think you've seen the video the last couple of days, what it's doing to buildings and casinos and all that.
Yeah.
It's been bad the last couple of days, but we got through it, made it over the mountain down to LA. Futures game Saturday, hangout Sunday, meet some people, have dinner at the beach at Santa Monica. Unbelievable. Monday, home run derby. Tuesday, all-star game. Wednesday, day off. Thought, all right, that's the day we're going to go back. Made the executive decision that we're going to stay and watch the Dodgers play the Giants on Thursday to see Mookie Betts get a 5-run lead by the Dodgers, 6-5 by the Giants, and then a 9-6, another Dodgers run line cover Thursday night. He makes a diving catch to save the game. And then Friday on the field, pregame spread with Vescursion and Ariel and Keith Arizari, and then Better's Eye. I'm walking by the dugout all in the gear that I got at the thing. And Dave Roberts did a turn, like he looked at me like, who is this guy? And I was like, hey, man, nice to see you. How you doing, Gavin? Gavin Lux, Freddie Freeman, everybody's there. And I got to do this show 5 feet from the dugout where they're standing watching me say, Giants Dodgers under tonight. Logan Webb. And they're like, what is this guy talking about? Who is this guy? And I finished the spot and give the guys the mic, fist bump everybody, because you can't do all this. You can't do all this stuff without help. I mean, that's every single day. I'm more and more just, I always knew it, but I'm reminded of it every day. As much as we do, you can't do it without help. And, JD preaches family all the time. I mean, it's true. You got to have help. So walk out, and they're still looking at me. And I'm like, I got to be honest, that was one of the first times where you're doing the show, talking about games and things like that. And the guy that's writing the lineup card is right there. The guys that are going to be playing are right there. And they're looking at me like, what do you mean? Maybe I'll get 2 hits off Logan Webb. This guy don't know nothing. I say nobody knows shit all the time. They were thinking it. I could feel it. But JD, it was great. It was just a wonderful, wonderful 6 days, 5-night trip that hopefully not just me, but my 18-year-old daughter, who's now 19 actually, will always remember.
I told you that there's no stage that's too big for you, my brother. It's just amazing where geez, every time I turn around, it's like, oh my God, there you are. I mean, agents, right. Secretaries. I mean, that's for another show, obviously.
Yeah.
Mariners strike first. They get Castillo yesterday, and that was a big piece for the Yankees. Heard a little rumblings of the Dodgers. Talk about that move and your initial. Does it move the needle on the Mariners? I know we're not going to catch the Yankees. They're not going to catch the Astros, but they're going to wheel out Ray, Castillo, and Gilbert now. So that's their front three, which is serviceable. Initial thoughts. Did it move the Dave Sharapan needle?
It's so funny because I got to go down to Circa to make sure that everybody's okay. So I got to leave the house today is the plan. probably in the Mariner gear. Just because, yes, I think it might move the needle a little bit. I love that team. I love what they're doing. They can't beat the Astros. We watch it every day. They just can't beat the Astros. This is like one of those things in college football when you just know as good as Michigan gets, they're not going to beat Ohio State or something like that until they do. So, yes, it moves the needle. If I was in a risk room, it would barely register a blip on moving it down because I want to take the bets to move it down. So we'll have to let the market tell us. And, you always talk about, this is about investing. I think you can wait until the weekend series wraps up because they're probably going to lose a couple more games here to Houston. Then maybe grab a price on them to win the pennant. I don't know if they can win the World Series. It's just a lot to ask for a young team and as good as Rodriguez is. And we saw him up close in LA. Kid's a superstar. I mean, he owned that home run derby. It was awesome. I love everything they're doing in Seattle. They're close. They're not there yet. So maybe grab a price on the pennant. That's as far as I'll go, JD. Are you ready to say they can beat the Yankees?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Max,
is there any
you don't
feeling?
think so?
I don't think so. Is there any feeling that they're going to be more aggressive, maybe bullpen or any other maybe serviceable, bat in the lineup? Anything as far as that concerned?
One of the benefits of being part of the MLB network is that they send me all this information. And when I checked my email, the first thing I did was jump on this link that JD sent. But there's apparently a trade deadline information packet that I am going to dive into after we finish this show. I take care of my obligations with the kids and everything else. I think this opens the door, Mags, for them to be more aggressive. I think they should be more aggressive because these things come for teams like Seattle, like Haley's Comet. I mean, it came and went in Pittsburgh in 2015 and 2016, and we may not see it again for a while. I think they're going in the right way, but it's hard, especially when you've got a team of all-stars. So, yes, I think they will. I don't know specifically what they're going to go after.
Right. No, Jeff and I have talked about it as far as I think there's a lot of teams that might not be aggressive because maybe no matter what they do, they might not feel like they can climb that hump. But the Mariners are one of these different teams where they're just trying to end this damn playoff drought, right? So they're going to do whatever they have to do to, to at least get over that hump. And I think that might propel them a little bit more here over the next couple of days here.
Without a doubt. I mean, that winning streak can happen so fast. And I mean, as bettors, as baseball fans, you get caught up in it. And I say it all the time. I mean, it's the easiest thing to do. When a team starts rolling like that, you bet them until they lose. After it gets 3 games, I had a guy who used to live in the book every day, bet on every 3-game winning streak and bet against every 3-game losing streak. All he needed was one double-digit one. He made up for a lot, because you only lose once. If they win 3 in a row and you bet them and you lose, you only lose once. If they win 6 in a row and then lose, that's 3-1. 3-1 puts us in the Hall of Fame, boys, in this game. So it's not a bad deal. Seattle is definitely live, and plus they got the nice uniforms, that old school stuff. I love everything about Seattle.
Yeah.
You posted something, and I was quick to act on it yesterday. I think it was yesterday.
It was
Shohei to the Mets, and you said they'd be co-favorites.
Yeah.
If the Mets are wheeling out Max, a healthy DeGrom with Shohei,
pretty good.
I quickly said they're the favorites, Dave.
Yeah. And then you forgot about the lineup. That's why I came on the show. When I saw the email, I said, "Oh, he's gonna come at me on the Twitter. I'm coming on the show." You're not going to make them lower than the Dodgers, JD, because if you do, you're going to take nothing but avalanche of Dodger money. So you got to make them the co-favorites with the Dodgers. That's what I said on the show with Peralt, and that's what I'm saying to you right now on the show with you and Max. It makes them, I mean, listen, the Mets are right there. They're having a hell of a week. 2 games against the Yankees, electric atmospheres, and good Scherzer, super Scherzer. I mean, give him the ball in that NLCS in healthy, not the dead arm that he was last year, live, ready to go. Follow that with DeGrom. That's good enough. If the Ohtani dream would happen, that would change everything. He ain't going nowhere. My question back to you boys. You see the City Connect, the Padres. You see what they're doing. They got this catcher that says, let's fucking go San Diego after every game when he's the guy saying it. It's fun. Do they get Juan Soto? Because that's going to gigantically move a number.
I said earlier on the show, all my peeps in San Diego, they're sitting there and we're waiting for Tatis, Snell now rounding into form. They have the pieces to get Soto. So my question to you is, you're a man from 20 plus years in these books. Do we bet on the come and grab it before it happens? And if it doesn't happen, well, we'll turn it into coasters. We can frame them or whatever. or do you just sit and wait here?
Well, if you think at all it could happen, you have to bet it. But like this is what happens, and it's really been fun since COVID. The trade deadline has become almost like NBA free agency. There's no other sport that it moves the needle where my guy might go. Think about all the steam about Max Scherzer last year, and he was going to San Diego. People bet it enough to move numbers, and then he didn't go. And you left what you call a coaster. I want to put it in the CLV can. You guys know I got CLV cans. I got to get around town today to make sure the CLV cans are still standing from all the rain. But the good thing about buying the ticket on San Diego, and if he don't go there, is that I think they're going to make the playoffs. And once you get in, you can work it, and you can teach them in class here every day on the Bankroll, Jeff, how to at least make a profit. You may not win it, but you can make a profit if you buy a team at a price that is going to give you wiggle room. That's the Padres right now. I would love to see Soto go there or Mags, Midwest team, St. Louis Cardinals.
Don't get my
Can he
hopes
go
up over
there?
here.
Huh?
I actually, that was my hot take as far as the Cardinals. I thought you were getting my hopes up as far as a pipe dream with my White Sox, but no, that was my hot take. The Cardinals a couple of weeks ago or a week or so ago. I think the Cardinals are going to do something as far if it's not Juan Soto, something, and so I took a little stock in at least the Cardinals to win that division over the Brewers at plus money. That's about as far as I went, but
right.
I guess going back to the San Diego, if they don't get Juan Soto, do you think is that it? Are they wiping their hands, or do they go after somebody else that's on the market? Maybe again bullpen, or maybe even get some depth in the starting rotation there.
I think at this point, I think they have to do something for the team, for the fan base, but like knowing that Tatis is sitting there and they're the only ones, him and them are the only ones that know how close he is to coming back. He's better than anybody they can trade for right now. So if he's going to come back, they can sit back and just fill a spot, a seventh inning guy, an eighth inning guy, whatever it is. Everybody's looking for that piece. I think they're pretty good up top in the rotation. I think they're okay above average in the ninth. It's that middle part in between. And I mean, if they're hitting last night, 5 home runs, Hosmer hit one, Voit hit one. Everybody felt like they were hitting one last night. Team's dangerous in the playoffs with the home runs. I mean, you can't deny that the Padres are right there, and a move like that or a healthy Tatis back, holding the ticket on them wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
I got 2 that are waiting to go. I will tell you this, Dave. One is gone for sure, and that's J.D. Martinez. I don't know if it'll happen today or tomorrow. He gone. Eovaldi, he'll be walking. I would like to try to get something for him as well. The Bogarts thing, the cards have been tied to him all year. They want him bad, but I just don't see the Sox going to that depth. They'll hold on to Bogarts and Devers and try to figure it out in the off season. If you had Biff's almanac right now, good spot, landing spot for JD. I mean, the Mets need another bat. I'm not saying Eovaldi needs to be added there, but look at his resume in the playoffs in the World Series. You see or hearing anywhere where those two could end up?
Haven't heard a word about either one of them, to be perfectly honest. I have not heard a word. I'm still not convinced that they're just going to punt. The Red Sox, maybe they will. I just think if they're going to do it, Jeff, they got to do it all the way through. Like, don't just like you said, like maybe trade them all. Like, let's revamp, let's reload, let's save it all for Devers because we gotta pay Rafi. He's amazing. The guy, I saw him at the All-Star game. I saw him on a red carpet walk. One of the coolest guys, and modest as could be. Took the time with everybody, and all he does is hit. Like, we're working on the throwing, and we're getting it all together. It's fine. Just stay over there and don't spike yourself playing the field. We need you to hit. So I don't know. The AL East is a I'm learning all these big words. I like to use them. Quagmire. It's a quagmire. Okay. Where do you get that kind of content? You don't get that everywhere. But the AL East is, I mean, it's the Yankees. A month ago, we were putting 3 teams in. We may not get one. The Mariners, the White Sox, the Guardians. Could that happen? And none of the AL East teams go? I don't know.
I don't know about that. I'm gonna put at least one of those AL East teams. I think the Blue Jays. I do think the Blue Jays do something. I think the Blue Jays do something to get themselves in position. What about as far as that division though? Are the Orioles playing themselves out of being sellers? I mean, it seemed like a week or so ago I still would have said that they'd still probably be selling, but now 51-49. They were playing in the going away party for Trey Mancini at least, and now I don't know. What do you think of that as far as them?
Lowest season win total on the board, Baltimore Orioles. Yeah. Another piece of evidence that everybody that does all this preseason work and looks at all these numbers still got to play the games. And now I think the Orioles, you're right. They actually sweep this series against Cincinnati. And what are they going to do? Look the fan base in the eyes on Monday and say, Mancini's gone. We're trading this. I think they go for it. I think they're, like you said about the Mariners. When's the last time Baltimore was relevant, let alone in the playoffs? I mean, we can look it up, but I want them to go for it. I think it's great for baseball if they go for it, and maybe that will dictate what the Red Sox do or what the Rays do. The Rays are beat up. They're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. They're not the usual Rays. Blue Jays, I take your second best choice in that division. I can't wait to see how it plays out. All these people are talking about getting ready for like Charlotte and Florida Atlantic 4 weeks from today. Nevada, New Mexico State. I mean, college football is great. I love college football. I think I like it more than the NFL. But come on. People, pay attention to the baseball. It's a betting opportunity every day. Plus, it's just fun. It's just fun. I love baseball.
Well, you kind of cut into my transition there is the fact that we got the August 1st on Monday. We got the trade deadline and the true dog days of summer, Dave. And everywhere you turn on social media, gambling, Twitter, whatever platform anyone watches and listens to, podcasts, yada, 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 it's football, 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 and more football. And as we were speaking, Neidert, Neidert is the starting pitcher for Miami. I have no idea who he is. I don't even know if Craig Mish knows who he is. But can you tell the general public, the D-Gens, this is the toughest month. In other words, we talk about this all the time, Dave. I'm going to take the month off. I'm going to gather up. I can't wait. I'm going to crush them in football. I own these guys in football. And they don't even make it to October 1st, never mind Halloween and the Thanksgiving games. Give these guys a sense of reality, will you?
Oh, please. Thank you for the floor, sir. You can make it over under. The first one is October 1st. Can you make it out of September? Because then you get to October And not only do you have football, but you have the baseball playoffs, which you can't pass up on. Oh, yeah, hockey ends up starting, as well as the NBA. And you're telling me you're just betting football. You're lying. I've been in the book too long. I see what you're doing. Now, you want to make the second over-under October 31st. That's a great day. Halloween, everybody dresses up, trick or treat. It's a lot of tricks. There's not a lot of treats. People just don't make it. The hype just leading up to the damn Hall of Fame game. Or like the number one trend that's out that has paid, don't get me wrong, the Ravens in the preseason. Ho ho! It's free money. It's unbelievable. We're getting ready for this. You're all lying. No one's watching it. Who watches a whole preseason game? Stop the bullshit. Nobody, they didn't even watch it in the book. You got guys telling you in the book to put on, Hawthorne or Aqueduct or Saratoga or something. I don't want to watch this preseason. Oh, but it's football. No, it's not. It's content and it's noise. You know how I prepared for football a lot of times? I either watched the games or just read and made numbers and put them up and then watch them move, watch people bet. Nothing personal for the people in Chicago that listen to the show, but people have been betting the Bears to win the Super Bowl for years. Decades. I mean, I was a little kid in 1986 when it was the Super Bowl shuffle. I wore at my Super Bowl party with my brother a Patriots Craig James jersey, the red one, JD, 32 with the vertical stripes, the way it should be. I remember that. That's the last time the Bears won the Super Bowl. People, don't overbet the football. Please. JD says it all the time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. My goodness. You come out of the gate and you spit the bit September 18th after 3 weeks. You're like, this NFL, it's fixed. There's too many flags and blah, 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 all the same stuff that everybody says. Relax. Football's coming. We all know it's coming. Everybody relax.
You had to bring up 85 and bury the Bears. I
love it.
I have to say a sad story. I was dead even going into Sunday, and of course there was a couple college basketball games, and there was a couple other stuff to play, and of course I go OFA, and so I'm down 750. Now I am a freshman in college. And I'm back at mom and dad's house to get ready for this, the Super Bowl shuffle, the bury the Bears and all that stuff. So I'm down 750 going into the game, and I call up my guys because I got to go back to college to get ready for the game. Get drunk and stupid with all the rest of everyone. And he says Patriots plus 10 and a hook. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, Patriots plus 10 and a hook. I'm like, wow, that number's moved a lot. I was like, give me 800 on the Patriots. And he goes, 800 on the Patriots. And everyone's like laughing their ass off. They're like, we finally got a piece on the Patriots, right? and Tony Franklin, field goal, 3-0 Pats. I'm driving down. I'm like, yeah, boy. And oh my God, by halftime, we ran out of beer. There wasn't, I was just disgusted.
I didn't mean to bring it up. I'm sorry. I mean, it was you buried the lead in the whole thing that you were in college when that happened. Okay. I was at least in high school, and Riley was not even a thought on anyone's mind back then, but that's okay. That's how this whole thing works. We can all bring up thoughts, memories, games when this happened. My brother had the Bears in the Super Bowl shuffle. He was pissed, though, that Fridge didn't score, or Fridge scored and Walter Payton didn't score either. We were all mad about that. That's another one of those stories that you remember. Like, why are they not giving him the ball? Why won't he score? Can you imagine if you had, prop betting like you do now and all the money that would be on Walter Payton, Riley? Like, it would be crazy.
No. Yeah, it would be absolutely. That's what you call the vulture, as far as the 1-yard touchdown with somebody else when the star running back's out there. Yeah, that's
industry term. That's an industry term, the vulture.
Dave, wasn't that the start? That was like the first official prop. Didn't they talk about Ditka
Yes.
having something behind that, having a little something on the fridge, and no
Yeah.
one thought it would happen, but that was like the first prop.
Yeah. And, you get Jimmy to tell that story next time you come out and we get Jimmy. He tells it with that glimmer in his eye because it was one of those things that, like, hey, we're going to put up whether Fridge scores a touchdown. And everyone in the industry was like, what the hell are you talking about? Why would you do that? Nobody's going to bet that. What do you mean? Everybody's talking about this guy maybe getting a touchdown. It'd be a great bet. Just make a number, put it up. Then he has to tell the story about paying it out. And the line that had to pay it out because he got buried on it. It's one of those. It's a classic. It's a classic story. It was the first one. And you look what it's become today. It's a regular thing on a daily basis. Look at the baseball offerings now on a daily basis. You can get caught up. You can bet whether a guy's going to get a hit, score a run, total bases, how many Ks the pitcher's going to get, how many outs the pitcher's going to get. It's incredible what this whole thing has become. And yes, that was the start of it, JD.
Dave, you sent me the text. I sent you the link. I am more in shock that we get this impromptu, show with you today. I obviously can't thank you enough. Before I let you go, we always talk about Biff's Almanac. Tell the viewers, tell the listeners, listen, I know you're a numbers guy like me. You're looking for value. You're going to go see the boys at Circa, Derek, Mr. Benson, and everyone else that's there. Is it in baseball? Is it, I'm going to say a college football? Is it NFL? Is there any number out there that you're looking at that you could share to us that say, hey, little pizza and beer, this number looks a little off? Or is August to you just absorbing everything?
Well, first of all, I'm still looking for Biff's Almanac. All right. If we can find, I don't know what the price we would pay, but all I need is one day with Biff's Almanac. We'll fix a lot of the ills of a lot of the decisions we made as young guys back in the day. But one day with that thing, if we could find it, would be awesome. The Backyard Brawl is Thursday, September 1st. Okay, that's Pitt hosting West Virginia. All right. One number, it's 7 in places. It's way too high. I think that's a way tighter game. My guy B Howe is dialed in West Virginia. We've talked about it repeatedly. We were in Pittsburgh doing something for the Pirates, and we talked about it. They changed the name of the field. It's no longer Heinz Field. I can't believe it. It's something called Acrisure. I struggle to even say it. It's always going to be Heinz Field to me. But I like the dog in the game. West Virginia +7. As of right now, subject to change. It's still July, and we're talking about football. So we'll see what happens in camp. That's the one. The other one is I think the Patriots season wins go under. I do. And again, that's nothing personal, JD. Is it time to go? I'll leave before you bury me with that one. I'm out. I'm out. That was my exit right out the door. Stage left.
No. I had Jules on about 7 weeks ago. I, on record, have the Jets finishing in front of the Patriots and the Patriots finishing last in the East.
What?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on over there on the Cape? What are you talking? The
You
Jets?
mean you don't trust Belichick talking up Mac Jones in the offseason? You don't trust that?
No, Mac does look good. I'm giving him credit. Mac's putting in the work. But JD just said Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, what he's doing in New York. What are you talking about?
I just, listen, when you got Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, I mean, listen.
Who's calling plays? How can the guy not have a guy calling the plays? Riley, can you call plays? Somebody got to call the plays for this Patriot team.
I'm pretty decent at Madden, so I'm an offensive guy at Madden, so I think I got something.
Listen, a lot of people are running the Madden simulations and then coming in the book and betting it too. That's part of the problem. But it's a good thing if you could call the plays, because I don't know who's going to call the plays, Jeffrey.
It's turmoil. It's just, here's the problem. It's the fact that they're all coaches that are on the staff for free. The Giants are paying Judge.
Ooh.
The Lions are paying for Patricia.
Ooh.
So they're on our staff for free, and they're all built disciples. I mean, listen, Mac can only do one thing and go up. They had the strings so tight, and they
it's like
added
a straight
Devontae
jacket.
Parker.
Yeah.
Their running game's going to be fine with Harris and Stevenson. I bring this up defensively. It looked like when Buffalo played them back-to-back to end the season and the first game of the playoff, it looked like SEC Bama versus Big Ten Michigan, meaning the speed, the defense, it just looks so slow compared to these guys. And it only is going to get weaker this year. That's just my take. I'm rooting for it. But listen, when you got the Sox not going to be in the playoffs, the Bruins are fired Cassidy. We got that early November game against the Knights circled on that. Thank God for the Celtics, but it's bleak in the City of Champions. Dave.
All right. Hold on.
Woe is you. Woe is you.
Please
Good
step in here
Lord.
because you know what I was going to say. Please, seriously, is he really doing this, Riley? Is he really doing this? Who are you pandering to with that bullshit?
Good grief.
Seriously, come on, stop. Boston. Oh, it's going to be tough. Oh, we're not going to be able to compete for a champ. You just were in the NBA Finals in Game 6.
Oh, jeez.
All right, hey, I didn't even bring that up. I'm going to close with this, and I'm going to give you the ball. KD, where's he end up?
Oh my gosh, are you looking for this Biff's Almanac again? I don't know. I don't know. And I mean, I can say it because we're all friends here and we got a lot of people listening. I don't care. I don't care where he goes. I mean, as far as numbers and moving it, like I'm not betting it. I just don't see what all these people, all these talking heads and people that want to bet it, this and that. If he goes to Golden State, okay. He ain't going to a team that's not already set up to win a championship. If he goes to Boston, I'm with you. I ain't breaking that team up. I'm keeping that together. We were just in Game 6. Why am I going to give them up? Let's grow together. It took some of the greats, Michael Jordan, 7 years to win a championship. He ended up winning 6. It took Mario Lemieux, one of my childhood heroes, 7 years to win a championship. He won back-to-back, and then he got cancer. And otherwise, he would have won 3 more probably. Would have been Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky had help. Everybody needs help. To circle it all back to my discussion, you got to have help. KD alone ain't moving nothing and becomes a bet against for me. If he goes to the Lakers, for us, for content guys, I can't believe how great that would be. I mean, we can talk about that. Put him with LeBron and watch him fight over the ball. It'd be like that Spider-Man meme. Who got it? He got it. It would be awesome. And Westbrook is the third wheel there because they got to give up AD. If he goes to LA, he ain't keeping. I mean, you're going to keep. How are you going to convince somebody you're going to keep AD, LeBron, and get KD? You can't. AD's the piece you got to get back. I hope he ends up in Brooklyn. I hope he stays there. I mean, that's what I'm rooting for content-wise, because he waited for Kyrie to say he was staying to then say, oh, I want to trade. I want them to play together. You guys picked your poison. Now live with it. Harden found his way out. The NBA is investigating the Sixers because of collusion, because they put PJ Tucker, Harden, and someone else together. Like, what the hell was Boston back in the day when they got Garnett, Ray Allen to come play with Ray? I mean, to play with Pierce. Come on. Like, it just enough. Please, you got me fired up now. I got to go. I got to go get relaxed and get a coffee or something. You got me all fired up, Jeff. Man.
Well, again, as you see, I'm smiling ear to ear. Myself, Riley, we can't thank you enough. We turned the breakfast bankroll into the
brunch. It's brunch.
It's brunch. And
brunch.
To all the watchers, listeners, the loyal listeners, thanks. It a great way to start the Saturday. If you're not following Dave Sharapan at Sportsbook Consig, at Cash Consideration Show, at Props US, at Bostonian versus the Book, at the MLB Network. And the list is just endless. I probably missed 25 other spots. So, Dave, tell everyone where they can follow you.
You did good, Jeffrey. You nailed them all. Me and B Howe do 8 in the Box as well. We got some plans for that. The YouTube channel's Cash Considerations Podcast. Just click the subscribe button. You won't miss anything. I got the kids cutting clips, and hopefully we're gonna maybe button up some stuff for the fall. Between you, your team, Kiefer, the boys, whomever. Maybe we'll figure it all out. We got time. Football season starts pretty soon, but we know that. We'll be on, starting again next week with Bostonian versus the Book, Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So you can do Breakfast Bankroll, come over, catch a little me and Matt. And then every night on Sports Grid and Sirius XM 159, I'm on from 4 to 7, in-game live, all access, where we talk about the games while they're going on with the lines. It's a fun show. It's a good watch, and you pick up a couple bets here and there when you see a number like the Phillies leading the Pirates the other night, 8-0 in the 7th. And you grab 6.5 with the Pirates, and then they get a 2-run bomb to go 8-2. And then Ralph put this out on Wager Talk. 99.6% of the time when a team leads a game 8-0 in the 7th inning, they win on the run line. 99.6 didn't get in. You want to talk about nobody knowing nothing? 8-7 final, 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th, and you're holding the Phillies ticket on the run line with Zach Wheeler. Easy money. 8-0. Betting baseball. It's fun.
And the Dodgers thanked everyone last night. The same thing. In comes Kimbrel.
Kimbrel, what's he doing when he does this? What is he doing when he does this? Can we just get an easy inning from Kimbrel ever?
Oh, that's why it takes 27 outs, people. Not 26, not 25. Holy cow. So, from myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one, and of course, Dave Sharapin at Sportsbook Consig. This was a show I never thought would happen. And boy, I'm smiling ear to ear. Great way to start the weekend. I can't thank both of you enough. Honestly, I needed this, and it was good to get on the show with all three of us. If you have any questions, comments, concern, hit any one of us three up on our timelines on Twitter. We will follow back. We will answer any question. We're not those guys, the stuffy ones with the check marks, those big platforms that don't reply.
Can't get a check mark.
We got you covered. So again, thank everyone. Cash a few tickets today. Be responsible. Monday is August 1st, so end July strong. And we will see you soon. And thanks again to Riley and Mr. Sharapin.